This video shows you where to locate the cabling for the XLR's right-hand side lights. And this information could save you thousands of dollars in labour cost. And you might ask why I know this and why it's important for Sylvester James. It's a long story, but it starts with trying to work out why the side lights, which operate as LED running lights as well, and that's part of the 2001 upgrade of the X150, why they weren't working on the right-hand light assembly. Looking at the wiring diagrams and all the parts lists I could find on the internet, there was very little mention of side lights or daytime running lights. They don't have a separate fuse, but they do return an error code when faulty. And the more worrying thing was there appeared to be no listing of bulbs or LEDs for the side lights. And this could mean that they were an integral part of the headlight assembly itself. And did that mean that the whole assembly may need to be replaced? That would have been expensive, but in my case there was one redeeming hope that the replacement of the full assembly was not likely. On looking at the DTL in the working left-hand assembly, it seemed that there were a number of LEDs, maybe 10 or more, and since all were not working, it indicated to me that it was a wiring issue rather than the multiple LEDs being faulty. What appeared to be the only way to find out was to remove the right-hand assembly and see if it came apart. And the news here was not good. There's no way of disassembling the unit without destroying it. So hopefully it was a wiring issue. So it seemed to be a good idea to see if the suspect DTL on the right-hand side would work by powering it from the working left-hand assembly. And I got to say I was relieved, because when power was put in from the left-hand side lights, the suspect right-hand side lights illuminated correctly. So a full assembly was not needed. I checked the pricing. US $2,000 for a used headlight assembly had been saved, but little did I know that the labour content to find this wiring was going to turn out to be about the same cost. But then again, if I had replaced the assembly, it still wouldn't have worked anyway, so we had to find the wiring. The next plan was to try and locate that wiring and where it went from after it left the fuse box and ended up at the right-hand assembly. After many hours of searching and poring over circuit diagrams, it was finally found that the cabling runs from the engine fuse box, which is located on the left-hand side below the windscreen, and runs down the left side of the engine bay, and then in front of the radiator, ending up with the right-hand lights. And to get there, it means that the whole front bumper and panels had to be removed to follow that wiring. So, after removing everything forward of the radiator, there was the culprit, a burnt-out terminal connector. The reason for the faulty LEDs was obvious. 4 internal terminals had been fully shorted out to the point that they'd completely melted away, and there was no way to know which of the other terminals were affected either. They were all severely corroded. The fix was just a matter of replacing the terminal connector and matching the wires on either side. The real cost was the labour content in finding the connector. The side lights and daytime running lights are now operating correctly. The cost? A couple of $1,000. Ouch! I hope you've enjoyed this quick video and it saves you the cost of locating the wiring connector, as well as learning a bit more about the XKR. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell to be notified when I publish more videos.